Welcome to Podtendo's Top 10 list. Listen to the show, we'll explain it. I can't explain it during the opening. Enjoy! Hey guys, welcome to Podtendo's Top 10 lists. I'm your co-host, Mick. I'm joined by
Tyson.
This is in honor of our 10th year that we have passed. We are doing a top 10 list for, I don't know, just 10 seemed like a thing. Seemed easy. Not a lot of thought to throw together a top 10 list on the internet. Everyone's doing it, so why not us? Today, if you're joining us, we've looked at original and Nintendos and Super Nintendos and 64 Nintendos. Today we're going to switch gears just a little bit, kind of like we did with the comic characters, and we're coming at you with the top 10 PS1/Xbox One. Even though Tyson kind of mentioned that technically the Xbox One should pair up more with the PS2, so you kind of get like a different generation of games, and it's not like completely clean. But
whatever.
We're doing like the first for the other guys today, I guess.
Basically, we're a Nintendo podcast. Who cares about those other schmucks?
Yeah.
Minus those times when we play those games from those other schmucks.
Yeah, they pop up once in a while. I think that's all in the history of the annals of video game history, right? You have to be able to look at all of the systems and kind of like, oh yeah, they came around this time, right? So this is kind of the launch series of the other competitors, right? So PS1, if you didn't know, did you know? Sony had a deal with Nintendo to make a CD-based gaming. Nintendo was very hard to work with, so Sony was like, screw you guys, I'm gonna make my own, and they did. Hence why we have the PlayStation. And then Microsoft one day was like, yeah, we could do this. We could definitely do this.
We make software. There's no reason why our hardware would ever fail.
Yeah, why would that fail? So that's essentially what brings us to today. And these are games that we grew up with, right? So if you were listening along, you do know that we were in the N64 world, right? Like we were definitely conscious, active gamers with some level of incomes, potentially with little side jobs or birthday monies type thing, right? So we were buying video games. So we were definitely active around this time. So we're going to have probably a little more substance, right? Whereas the NES, I have no history or memory other than doing this podcast with you, right? That's kind of my introduction to the NES. Whereas I'm going to tell you tales from when I was like a little guy playing my PlayStation and trying to make it work. I like once broke the disc, like the little spinny disc thing in my PlayStation, and like to get it to work, we had to like wedge a toothpick to keep the disc from laying flat.
Yeah, I seem to remember we were having, and I think we had all sorts of hardware issues with our first PlayStation and PS2. Same with my Xbox. There's a reason I bought a warranty with that lovely thing. It was good times. Mm-hmm. Good times.
So we do have a little bit of, because we grew up with these things, right? Some of the influence of the list will be nostalgia, what I remember from the past, and then just some current experiences, right? So we'll get a little bit of everything. And then as always, I am basing my list today based on, do I want to play? Is it fun to play? And like, obviously the other technical, like they have to be a good game and like maybe some type of achievement or do something cool in gaming, right? Advance the medium forward or just hone in and like really excel in one area for the most part, but also fun factor is a big mind. Like you could sit there like, well, this game's technically more sound, but I'm like, yeah, but I would never ever want to play the MDK. It just doesn't sound fun.
Ugh, yeah. No, that one was one of those rough ones where you're like,
yeah.
I
think this story basically, it's this bad first person kind of shooter that was kind of terrible platforming early PlayStation, and we bought it at a Toys R Us in Calgary. Drove 4 hours home, looking at the box art, read the manual, and you pop it in. It's just a terrible experience, and you're like, huh. It's a disappointment, feels like, eh? Tight.
Good times. Good times had by us.
That's it. But we'll get into the list here without much more rambling. We're going to do the normal way, 10 to 1, not 1 to 10, because we're not, well, I might be a crazy person, but at least not on the internet. So you're welcome. So we'll start with our number 10. We talk about the second time a game mentioned or appears on someone's list. So I will start off by just taking a swing, probably get called back to the bench. They're like, no, you don't get to shoot basketballs today. And I say, okay, all right, I'll hang up my golf cleats. At number 10, I have Halo 2, which is for the original Xbox, which is like kind of the most cheating way ever, because I think Halo 2 was like the last Xbox game or something, wasn't it? Right, it was like right before the 360.
Something like that. It was pretty far down the line.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll be talking about this one a little bit later.
Sure.
It's on my list and it's a little bit higher, so give you guys just a hint. Keep you on the edge of your seat, waiting to see where it shows up again. So, and I guess it flips over to me now.
Yes.
My number 10 is GTA San Andreas, and I think this is also kind of a little bit of cheat because I also think this is one of the last games that came on this console.
Yeah, probably.
But it was a good one.
Sure.
It was a blast.
Yeah.
I don't see it anywhere on your list. I think this is the best GTA game of this era. I have a soft spot for it, so that's why I'm kind of like, it's really good.
Well, so to pull back the curtain just that little bit and that little bit of a peek, I'll show you yours. You can show you. No, I'll show you mine. You show me yours. I kind of spaced out on the GTA games. In my mind, I was thinking PS2, so I built my list predominantly on PlayStation 1. I don't have a lot of rich history with Xbox, and then just kind of the what I knew were like the superior titles, right? Like I think Halo 2 is, when we get to it, I'll tell you my thoughts, but I think that's a superior game, right? Like it kind of helps propel the generation. So that's why I didn't include the GTAs, but yeah, thinking about like had I looked at what was on the Xbox, I probably should have had more Xbox entries. GTA is phenomenal, right? GTA 3 was one of my favorite games on the PS2. We had that one, played tons of that. Vice City didn't hit it as hard. It just didn't feel as kind of tight and as clean. But GTA San Andreas, I've gone back and played since. I actually didn't play it until years and years later, but it is the definitive almost GTA of this console generation, right? You can do everything. You can get fat from eating chicken. You can get buff from going to the gym. Tons of missions, tons of fun. Honestly, just, like Rockstar just flexing and being like, we're going to make these amazing open worlds for the rest of time.
Yeah. And I think this is kind of like a complete refinement. Like they added that RPG elements to it. And it's just like, it's tight. It's fun. It's so cool. Like, I remember just ripping around on that bike or whatever, or then, and you just kind of start off with a pretty cool house, and you got a bunch of really fun characters. Great story, great game, just absolute awesome. So yeah, can't go wrong.
No, and I agree. That's an excellent recommend. I'll throw the nod out. The whole GTA series, like that whole trilogy that came out. I haven't bought the remastered. I see it once in a while, and I'm like, is it worth going back and playing? I think they're fun to like jump into once in a while and create some chaos. But yeah, early on, guys, when open world games didn't exist, they were all linear experiences. Getting to just be able to drive around and run people over and blow up cars and just basically be destruction. Play as a Terminator type thing, right? You can do whatever you want in this world. It was a really cool, awesome experience, and I'm glad you mentioned those, right? Those original GTAs do need some love, right? I don't know if we'll ever get to them on the podcast. We could. But I might be doing something stupid and like make us play GTA 1, and then we're just like,
or GTA 2, the top-down version, and you're just like, why are we doing this to ourselves?
Why didn't we just start at 3?
Because we're gluttons for punishment, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. So buckle up. You're in for a ride.
Buckle up indeed. Okay, cool. I'll jump back for my number 9. Oh, look at that. And I have at number 9, I have Final Fantasy 9. But it appears a little bit higher up on your list, so we will jump to your number 9.
Yeah, I got KOTOR.
Okay, excellent. KOTOR appears higher up on my list, so let's jump to your number 8, and we'll clean that up just because I kind of just mentioned it. And who do you have at number 8?
I got Final Fantasy 9.
Yeah.
So we both got good games on here. We're clearly like thinking the same. This game's great. It's a top 10 game for sure. Is it like super standout? It's a little tough to say.
Mm-hmm.
A little tough to say, but I think it's rock solid. One of my favorite games. That beginning of that game, it just like warms my heart to a certain point. So you're just like, I have to have this on here somewhere.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
Happy it's here.
Yeah, and I agree. Like we went back and did a retrospective a couple years ago, and just kind of diving through this like top cutting edge. This is actually kind of one of the cheats for the PS1, because as one of the last PS1 games released, technically it is beautiful, right? They missed out a little bit because of the technical aspect was so great. There is some lacking elements of this. It's not as deep of an adventure. There isn't as fluid. The world is lived in, and it's there, and it's a fantasy world. It's rich. but I don't know. It just is missing a couple little elements. Because why? Well, technically, this game looks like it could be an Xbox game, right? We're talking about literally a generational gap between, say, like a Final Fantasy 8 or a 7 to where Final Fantasy 9 came out. It looks so clean. It's so crisp. There's some like rough edges here and there, but like in terms of what they were giving you in terms of CGI quality and the sound and just like the overall technical aspects of this game, it's excellent. It is the definitive, whatever this generation is, like one of the finer technically RPGs, right? And going back and experiencing the story, it's all right. It's fine. You hit it once in a while, but we just did it last year, hence why it's a little bit lower on my list. The fun factor, I'm like, I probably wouldn't play Final Fantasy 9 anytime soon, but it definitely deserves some recognition, so that's why I included it.
Totally. Great game. A lot of fun. Definitely needs to be in the top 10, but we're not running out to go play it anytime soon, so.
Cool. Awesome. For myself, because that was Tyson's number 8. My number 8. Get back into the swing of things. I have the cult classic, Legend of Dragoon for the PS1.
Ooh, good one. Didn't have this on my list, but I feel like I should at some point. It's just, I'm just still holding my breath waiting for that remake, as it were.
Well, and there's a large community of fan outcrying. People are like, man, Legend of Dragoon was pretty cool, right? And I'm like, I think so. It was one of those games we got into the hype train at some point kind of early on. I don't know if we were there, but we might have rented it pretty early, like to the release of it, or purchased it or whatever it was, right? I do remember having the magazines and being excited, and like when we bought it, I think I got like a bag of jujubes from like the bulk grocery store, and I was like, I'm gonna eat all these jujubes, play this game. It was a very enthralling experience. I haven't returned to it, to be perfectly honest with you, in 25 years. But it does have an active battle system, right? So you kind of, instead of just hitting commands, you did have to, there was like timing element, I believe, with the attacks, right? So you had to kind of work on that. All in all, a good fantasy story that had dragons in it. And you know what? Dragons are pretty cool.
They are pretty cool. Yeah. I think it's a great game. Very cool. Like, got a really interesting world. Even like to a point where it's got all the fans still clamoring for it. I know I went through a Legend of Dragoon kick like a year or two ago. I can't remember. But a bunch of people were doing, like, they were playing the game and they were re-voice acting all the parts and making it like it's a whole like series. But it was pretty cool. I was very impressed with it.
That's fun. Yeah, it's kind of neat. So I think if you dive into the internet and look at just the fan following of this game, I think it deserves to be on a top 10 list. It's acclaimed. It's fans love it, right? Critics probably praise it for the most part. It's technically pretty sound. It's probably stupid. Like, you get into it and you're like, you have to find the 7 dragon crystals so we can go fight on the moon. Oh, I see.
Yeah,
it's one of these.
Yeah.
It's a crystal.
I always forget about that.
It's a crystalline moon game. Okay. Yeah, interesting. Wow, how original. Final Fantasy 4.
Hey, you leave that beloved game alone.
Well, but that's what I'm praising. It did it first. Now everyone went to the moon.
It's true. Yeah. True. Didn't we go to the moon and like? Yeah, maybe it was 4 was the first one. It just like feel like that's a RPG trope. We're like, and now we're going to the moon.
I know they went to space in Final Fantasy 8, but yeah, I couldn't tell you anything more than that. Other than I know that there's some weird line that Squall says about like, "You're not my mother." I don't know. It's, okay, cool, Squall.
Yeah.
Space.
Space and time.
Yeah, cool. Let's go on to number 7 on our list. Do you want to do first, or should I? Because we get to talk about these two games independent. So.
Separately. You know what? I'll do mine, just because...
No, how about I go, then you go to 7, because then my 6 we'll talk about.
Cool. Yeah, let's do it.
So at 7, I have, and budged in front, hey, listen, look at me. Hey, hi. I have Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2. A game that we actually did cover a couple summers ago, I believe. We kind of did the remaster on this one. It was an early entry, maybe the first game. I don't know if I ever played Tony Hawk 1, to be perfectly honest with you. I think this was my starting point into the Tony Hawk series, and it just, like, it lives rent-free in my mind. I don't know. It's one of those experiences in terms of early gaming. Tony Hawk Pro Skateboarding is, like, the greatest feeling in the world. Grinding, doing flips, ollies, right? Manuals kind of around trying to build these big combos, searching the worlds, trying to collect all the little pieces. It's just so fluid. And I will find myself multiple times, anytime I see a railing in a stairs, I'm like, yeah, I could probably like grind down that, just press like triangle, like jump, do like a 360, like kick flip, and then like grind down the other way. That seems pretty cool. I consider that all the time. Anytime I see a railing, I'm like, Tony Hawk could definitely grind on this. So it's just one of those things. I don't know. It's tough to explain. If you haven't played an original Tony Hawk, do yourself a favor, go buy the remasters and play this, and you'll be like, this is awesome. Some of the levels definitely don't hold up, and you're like, what the hell? You have to like jump over this like sign, and like, what do you want me to do? It's very confusing, but it is just incredibly fun gameplay, and you get a couple like teenage, preteen boys playing this in a room, and that's your whole weekend type thing. So
yeah, and it's so much fun. Like addicting. I'm pretty hyped for 3 and 4 getting re-released, because they remastered 1 and 2, and now they're doing 3 and 4, and it's like, I'm happy this is happening. This makes me a happy man. It's definitely one of those things where you're like, you get a lot of enjoyment from it, and like it's a sport that's so difficult that you just, like a basketball, you can go shoot a basketball.
Yeah, you
can't just like hop on a skateboard and then go grinding like down some like rails or whatever. It's like,
oh, interesting,
just keeping your balance on it. It's like it fulfills that fantasy that not a lot of people can actually do. So it's like, it's a blast. It's so much fun. Great time, great game. It ticks all those boxes of like, this is what this is the most enjoyable sports game of all time, in my opinion. So
yeah, like pound for pound, oh gosh, I don't know. You know what? Wii Sports, like Wii Tennis, it's pretty good. Like,
it's not bad.
It's not bad. Like, in terms of just like easy to pick up and go. But yeah, in terms of like fulfillment or just subculture or sub sports, right? It is an incredible phenomenal. You said it perfect. I'm not even gonna. You nailed it out of the park. That's great. Phenomenal experience. For you, who do you have at number 7?
For number 7, I got Half-Life 2. Great game. Super enjoyable. Great story. Kind of really immersive world. I played Half-Life 2 on the PC. That's why I was like, when I was going through the Xbox, I was like, oh yeah, it came out on Xbox. I'm throwing this on the list, because this came out the same year as Halo 2. And it was like, which one's the better game? I think most people called Half-Life 2, and me being a Halo fanboy, it's like, no, never. But it's so good. It's like, it's got a whole meme and a bunch of people just being like, so when are we getting the next one?
Oh, don't do that. That was gonna make that joke, because you were like, I was excited. I'm excited for Tony Hawk 2 and 3 to be, or 3 and 4 to be remastered. I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty excited for Half-Life 3 coming out. Heard that they're working on that pretty hard, so gonna get pretty excited.
100%. Yeah, no, great game, cool franchise. If you've never played it, do yourself a favor, just go play it. It can run on basically a potato at this point, because like even our phones are more powerful than like any of this stuff. So it's so much fun, so enjoyable. Just like, it's worth it. It's a great game, great story, cool physics, creepy at certain points. Like, you come into like this one town and just like overrun with these zombies things. Like, it's awesome. Just awesome.
Awesome. Look what you've done. Hanging out with you. Now I've become a potato. Is that like Portal 2 or something like that, when GLaDOS at some point is like hanging out with you, and she's like, now look, I bet you made me a potato. I have not had the experience actually of going through and playing through Half-Life 2. Maybe something I should maybe do for the podcast and like kind of document my kind of romp through it. What I've heard though is it is, again, something I've now heard about for 25 years is Half-Life 2, one of the best video games of all time. We need the sequel. It leaves an awesome cliffhanger. It's an immersive world, incredible experience. So it is definitely on my bucket list of games. I'm like, I kind of feel like I need to dive into this one and give it like a full treatment at some point. So maybe that's somewhere our podcast goes in the next couple years, as we kind of like just play bigger games and kind of document those things, right?
Yeah, I feel like there's a few like landmark titles that we've kind of just like sidestepped around, or we both kind of haven't
got to
really
it yet,
enjoyed.
Right? Like we haven't got to this part of this. Like we're just now kind of catching up our library, right? We're kind of towards the tail end of the N64, jumping into the GameCube. So we're closer to the Half-Life 2 era, but like this is maybe where like a retrospective comes into play. I would love to give this game, because it is just such a culturally significant. I love when I say that. I love when I say our sections in other shows. Part of gaming and just an experience. It's something I don't have and I would like to have, but I don't think it's just you do in an hour and a half show, right? It's multiple parts. You got to dive into things. I have to do research. I want to get into the nitty gritty, because once I get into these things, these big immersive worlds with cool stories, I like fall for it, right? So I am excited to take the Half-Life 2 jump at some point. And I imagine it would probably be close to my list too at that point, right? But I just haven't had it, so I can speak of the greatness and what I've heard. And like Tyson's alluding to, it's amazing, awesome experience. I believe it. So
yeah, it's a good time. I'm looking forward to it, because I might at that point we might have convinced you to actually upgrade your PC. And that's a good game to play with on your PC.
Oh my gosh! Like I don't do any like Steam or anything like that. Like there's sales. You know how many video games I could probably get going up on this thing? Tons.
Oh, for like $18, you can be like, why'd I buy like 70 games for $18?
It's because I have a problem and I need my physical things to look at. So
it's true. Yeah. And PC gaming has long gone away from physical gaming.
Oh, I can't get like a disc copy of a.
You might be able to. I know I still have my Halo 2 and Halo 1 on PC.
Okay.
Don't rob me, people, because I'm sure they're very cherished, as much as I cherish them and hold them close and sleep next to them every single night.
Let's see. Well, Half-Life, you can get the orange box for PC, the DVD set for $20. So.
Yep, there you go. That's got 1 and 2 and a bunch of other good stuff and portals and
Halo PC. We're not side. Yeah, don't rob Tyson. That he needs that $30.
Man, I need it. I need it. I got bills to pay.
Bills.
I just pre-ordered a Switch, so I got bills to pay.
Sweet. Cool. With that, though, we're going to jump to my number 6, which is a game Tyson mentioned at number 9, and that is Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic, also known as KOTOR. In terms of immersive, I don't know. Was this from? No. Who did this game? From Software?
BioWare.
Perfect. See, I should have just let you say that and said something silly. BioWare, it's one of their big epic world galaxy expanding action-adventure RPGs that has tons of replayability, tons of variety. It's an immersive kind of choose-your-own-adventure type story, right? You kind of get to dictate what happens. One of the first, right? Diving into it, people will still tell you that this is one of the better games. I've played it. I've given it a couple hours. I've never beat it. I've never seen it all the way through. I know most of the plot points, most of the beats. But again, I've spent a couple hours with this game in the past. I have it on my Switch. It's definitely one of those things. I'm like, at some point, I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna play KOTOR on my Switch. That'll be a great experience, and looking forward to that. But just in my mind, that is, if you can get this, and this is probably like the best Xbox game, right? Maybe a Half-Life 2 at some point. Like I might concede to that at some point, but KOTOR, Half-Life 2 are just these like genre epic defining, and that's kind of what Tyson's list has been thus far, right? Is these like genre defying, expectation defying games, right? So, and I think that's kind of where KOTOR fits. So that's why I made my list.
Yeah, and I mean, like, super good game. Fantastic. You can be good, you can be evil, you can be your own like Jedi or Sith, depending on what you want to do with things. And it's so much fun. It's back when BioWare used to just absolutely crush it. I can't sing enough praises. I like this game. Absolutely fantastic. I love it, even to a point where I bought it once on my phone. Oh yeah. Because even I said, even a potato can run these things. Mm-hmm. But it's so good. I've played it multiple times. Cool story. Once you kind of know all the twists and everything, Bunch of cool worlds to explore. Like maybe the best Star Wars game ever made. Because I was on a bit of a Star Wars kick, so I was like, I'm gonna just have to buy this and buy this and buy this.
I mean that you could argue potentially best Star Wars game ever made. What are you looking for? What's it getting? But yeah, like pound for pound, I don't think a lot would stand up to KOTOR, right? The Jedi Survivor definitely doesn't get you there. It's close. It's definitely like closer, but the worlds do seem a little bit more limited, right? Just from what the experience that you get from like the KOTOR. So like other than that though, Rogue Squadron, like you want to just play the movies and do more of the space battles, right, and less of the Jedi stuff, maybe. But yeah, like easily top 2 at the very least.
Yeah, it's definitely up there.
I forgot about Super Star Wars. Remember that French guy? Wonder if he still listens. I was like, hey guys, I love hiking and listening to you. Can you play Super Star Wars? And we're like, yeah, it was great. What a great little game that was too. So I wonder what that guy's up to.
Well, and he's like, are you guys ever going to play the other ones? And we're like, yeah, maybe one day.
Of course, it's right there.
Several years later, we're like, oh yeah, probably should play that. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows?
We had to do pod racing first, though.
Yes. Yeah. It was really important we did pod racing.
Pod racing was actually probably the better Star Wars game. So. Woohoo!
Yeah. Well, those games were hard.
Oh yeah, so hard. From there though, let's move on to your number 6 and get back onto our list, and then it kind of looks like we have like 4 more games or 5 more games to talk about. So because they're all the same, they're just in different orders. So neat. Yep. Number 6. I got Ninja Gaiden. This game still looks beautiful. When it came out on the original Xbox, like this was the game that it's super hard, and I think that this game kind of like Ninja Gaiden by like the first Ninja Gaiden's hard. This game is also really hard, and it also just kind of like started this trend of like, you just make hard games and people just learn how to play them. And I just had an absolute blast with it. Like it's so much fun. It's hard as balls. It taught me like this game scarred me in a way that it made me create the multiple save system where I have to keep multiple saves. Because I remember I was playing against like the bone skeleton in one of the dungeons or whatever, and it was just like I was getting wrecked. I had no health, no heals, and it just like, do I restart my game? And it's like, yes, you just restart your game. So I actually restarted my game and played my way through it, and it was just like, it's hard, it's difficult. There was Ninja Gaiden Black, then there was Ninja Gaiden Sigma. They've made lots of remakes of this game, which are just like slight changes because this game was perfect, and I think it was like the prototype, like Dark Souls, like Bloodborne kind of thing, where it's like just hard as balls, but also like super rewarding once you kind of get your head around it. And I love Ninja Gaiden. This game started that love, so it had to be on my list. Awesome. Yeah, cool. I am kind of, I don't know, maybe you've picked this up over the years if you've ever listened to this podcast, but I can be kind of a dick at times. I don't know. I get it naturally. Whatever. Get over it. As a child, I was on Team PlayStation. Xbox was terrible. I barely ever touched an Xbox, to be perfectly honest with you, because it was like, ooh, cootie system. I was that guy. I'm really cool. I mean, everyone's like that. You all pick your favorites. I'm like, oh no, it's only only PlayStation. Yeah, guess what? When you're an adult and you have a disposable income and you can buy whatever you want, you just play everything. You don't have to have favorites, but it's a thing you can do as kids. So I do not have the Ninja Gaiden experience, but everyone I knew that has played it or had an Xbox, this is one of their favorite games. People are like, oh, this game was incredible. You're right. It definitely was the first 3D Dark Soul-y experience, right? Just difficult, challenging game. Learn patterns, learn systems, right? Take your time, overcome adversity. This is kind of what I was getting from the playground, from my friends, from people I knew that played Ninja Gaiden, and it was one of those like defining games. Had I been a little less of a, I don't know, whatever, just one of those less ego driven, I suppose. I'm like, oh, I can't play it. Whatever. Xbox, your life would have been the same regardless. Definitely one of the games I would have loved to dive into. Right. So I didn't have it on my list. I can't really speak to it. I didn't have the experience, but I've heard nothing but great things about this game. And yeah, just listening to Tyson talk about it, it's one of those experiences. I'm like, yeah, maybe at some point that's a thing I buy and put on a shelf, and maybe I'll get to it one day.
Yeah. I mean, it's good times. It really is. I have a blast with it. I think it's if you haven't really experienced this game, do yourself a favor and maybe go check it out. It's not gonna hurt you to go enjoy it.
Yeah, not at all. Okay. From there though, we'll jump into our. I'll throw my number 5 out there. I have Metal Gear Solid. Tyson has it later, so we'll talk about it then. Tyson, who do you have at number 5?
I got Symphony of the Night, but you have that much later. So, okay. What's your number 4?
I have Silent Hill. So a game we played last year for Halloween. Again, I was a jerk kid. I was a Resident Evil fan. Silent Hill was like the other horror franchise. Psh, Resident Evil's better. So much better. But getting into it, like Tyson was beaking me before we kind of started recording. He's like, Silent Hill. He's like, why is that on your list? It is, in terms of horror from the PS1 era, I think it is done just expertly. Honestly, that first hour to 2 hours of you exploring Silent Hill, getting into the world, finding the immersions, it is scary. It's horror. It is fun. It's challenging. It is an excellent, awesome experience. The rest, there's parts of the game where you'd be like, this part's terrible. Yeah. Maybe follow like a walkthrough at some points. Like there's definitely not. It's not a perfect game by any means, but just the staying power and the psychological elements of this game that have stuck with me, guys. We played this in October. We're reviewing this, or we're talking about this about 7 months later or so. It's still with me. Like it still haunts me when it's snowing out and there's a flashlight and it's dark. I'm like, fucking Silent Hill, and like the song picks up in my brain and I'm like, what has happened? Like what? I never had this, and I've never had that ever. I've never thought about Silent Hill, and it's followed me, right? It's stayed with me. The atmosphere, the game, the horror part of this crappy 64 whatever the PlayStation was bit game. It's just incredible. Like, and it's just one of those things because it's stayed with me so long. I had to give it respect, and like I was saying, probably buying Silent Hill 2 on the PS5 at some point and playing through that. Like that's definitely in the docket in the shopping cart. So because of that, I want to give it credit and Creed. And if you're a fan of the Silent Hill series, I'm sorry I didn't get to it sooner because it is incredible. It's great. So
yeah, definitely not a bad experience by any stretch of the imagination. I was kind of beaking it because like I just played this game. I was like, I'm good. I'm just not going to I'm not going to touch that for a little while.
And certainly, like I was saying, do I want to play it again? Final Fantasy 9 is way lower on my list because we just played it. Silent Hill, we just played it. I'm like, yeah, I'd jump back in. I'd play through Silent Hill again. Like it was an interesting enough experience that I would love to have it again. So like, that's why you're at number 4, right?
Yep, totally. At my number 4, I have Halo 2. Which you had much lower.
At number 10.
Yes, but I mean, this game, just the multiplayer alone, the amount of hours that me and my friends, we were the Halo generation, so we grew up I grew up on a Friday night. Like Friday night, you stay to up to 3-4 in the morning, and then this game ruined my sleep schedule, and I think many sleep schedules of my generation, just because we were like, well. Why go to bed when I can just play one more game? What's the harm in it? So it was so much fun. I mean, I think I definitely I always wish we had better internet when this game came out.
Just for the online alone, for sure.
Just for 100%. But same time, it's it is what it is. Yeah. I had an absolute blast with it. I freaking loved it. It was so much fun. I remember me and my friends would be someone would pack an Xbox on a sports trip, and we'd be playing this game while a couple people went to Subway, and you'd take turns okay, well, I'm gonna go eat Subway now. So just so many good memories, just an absolute blast of a time. I can't sing this game's praises enough. The only thing was that cliffhanger ending, because they just had to cut it short. They're we got to ship this.
Yeah.
We just can't keep this going.
Weirdly enough, I think I might have watched Tyson play through Halo 2 at some point. I know when Tyson first got it, I definitely skipped out on school so I could go home with a friend and play it, Halo 2, get a chance to play multiplayer. That's why I had to include it on my list. I know that In terms of like modern first-person shooters, it wasn't the first by no means, right? You're probably looking closer to like a GoldenEye or something like that. But this was the modern day first-person shooting online community that has developed and was a big part of Call of Duty. I don't know if it's still like a big part. I don't know if is Call of Duty still a thing everyone cares about. Maybe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's still the big like first person shooter.
So that is because Halo 2 came out and they did online multiplayer that was an actually pretty solid experience from what I heard, right? What was it? No, it wasn't League of Legends. Not Team Fortress. Shoot, there's another one. Unreal Tournament. Unreal Tournament kind of had the first one, was kind of the predecessor of Halo 2, unsuccessfully. I don't think it was as popular and hit the same marks, but they were kind of trying to do the same thing as Halo 2, and Halo 2 was the one that took off, hence why I had to give it some recognition. And just, yeah, like the fact that you created a whole subgenre of gaming. I love video games. I play them all the time. I didn't know Call of Duty was a thing. I've never played Call of Duty. Oh, no, that's a lie. I played through one of them. One of the stories, but I've like never played multiplayer. I've never got into that. I also didn't really get into Halo 2, to be perfectly honest with you, but I know that was a giant subculture and doesn't exist today because obviously there's just other experiences, but awesome, cool, incredible experience, cool history, hence why I included it on my list at the very least. So I know it was the last one on there, but it made it. And if you don't make my list, you're dead to me. So Halo 2, you're not dead to me.
Well, I'm glad it made the not dead to you list.
Cool. So that gets,
what do you got at number 3?
We're at 3 for me. Oh, okay, cool. We get to talk about this. I have the titular. That's not titular at all. RE2. So the second game.
Yeah.
Cool. Game that somehow I borrowed from a friend and still have it. So if you ever want it back, I've had it for 26 years. I've definitely had it longer than you ever had it. So I think it's my game now.
Yeah, that's how that works.
Okay,
right?
Cool. And as a result, that's why it's number 3. Easy, simple. No, it is in terms of fun horror action gun shooting zombie games. I thought it was a genre defining experience, right? It was technically a step up, gave you a bit more production. It seemed like more of a mature, interesting kind of world that they were creating compared to the first one, right? Branching pathways. It's a really cool puzzle game, essentially, right? It is a Zelda-like in a sense, where it's a bunch of locked doors and keys and puzzles and survival horror, right? You're limited ammo, you have limited supplies, you have to try and avoid these slow-moving zombies. They become faster later on, so you don't really have a choice. But I don't know, it's just a really fun experience. And now that it's like back in the day when this was it seemed like such a grand story too, right? Like in terms of what you were getting compared to the original RE1, not as great. RE3, I don't know if it has the same narrative. Like the Nemesis system or him chasing around is actually pretty cool in number 3, but number 2 I just feel like has such a bigger, grander story, right? And it feels like it's just the entry point into this giant world. Now, where the series goes afterwards, you kind of roll your eyes and you're like, oh, okay, well, you set up a pretty cool world only to destroy it. Good job, Capcom. But for being the first, it is awesome. It's incredible. I still claimed, well, probably recently, well, that's a lie, but there was probably about a 10-year period to like 2005, 2006, where I was adamant that liquor jumping through that interrogation window at you when you grab the knight's key was one of the scariest moments in gaming. Like I remember having that happen and like pausing and like catching my breath and having like a mini panic attack, and I was like, holy, that was so goddamn scary. And that's those experiences that you just never lose, right? You'll always keep that in my heart. So RE2, that is why I'm including you at number 3.
Yeah, I got it sitting in one of my honorable mentions, like the first honorable mention slot. Great game, a lot of fun, cool world. Like this game got us addicted into the survival horror franchises, and I mean when we were watching the Friday Nightmare on Elm Streets and Friday the 13th, this was like the game. They're like, okay, we just watched some scary movies. It's time to go play Resident Evil 2. I think with the new remakes, they definitely are a bit more enjoyable. The tank controls of this game just kind of drive me crazy, but it's still a lot of fun. Still got some really cool like deaths and jump scares, and creates a cool world that you're like, I really hope that we keep doing this thing. It doesn't go down a completely different avenue, but is what it is. A lot of fun. I definitely had a blast whenever I play Resident Evil 2. Definitely, like, if had we done this list closer to the probably Halloween, I bet you this game would have probably been a little bit higher on my list. But
Yeah, and that's fair. And looking at it, you're like, I don't really want to play RE2 right now. And you actually mentioned a good point. The RE2 remake, top notch, phenomenal, right? The Mr. X that follows you around the police station was one of the coolest, scariest modern horror game experiences I've had. Right, it kind of steps up way above. I haven't played RE4 like the remake, but I've heard that one's pretty creepy too. Like they do a good job of kind of dialing up the horror a little bit more into that. But it just, I don't know, it seems like it's this weird big game. I don't know. We played it years ago. It's been actually a little hot second since I played RE2. It's a tough one to get back into, but I would jump in, play it, and be like, I know the beats. I know it's fun. Oh, yeah, run over here, dodge this enemy. Oh, watch out for those dogs, right? I love all those beats. Love the story. Love the characters. Leon was my boy. Claire was my... probably had a thing for Claire at some point. Does you wear like little booty shorts or something?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
And based on the modding
she's
community...
got that really nice vest.
Yeah.
And that cool... That everybody loved... everybody had a crush on either her or Jill. I think Jill got a lot more of the love, but... who doesn't love Claire?
Yeah.
She rides a motorbike.
Yeah, cool. Sweet. Who do you have at number 3?
My number 3, I got the first Halo.
Cool.
Combat Evolved. Great game. I love the Halo franchise. There's the new Master Chief Collection or Master Chief something or other on Xbox, and it's like perfect. Or it didn't start perfect, but it's pretty well perfect now because you can even just press a button and go from the old style graphics to the new style graphics. And it's the amount of hours I played this game, the amount of times I've like beaten this game on Legendary, and just like and to think that like I used to play these games just like incessantly and just like play it on Legendary just to get to the next checkpoint, get to the next checkpoint, get to the next checkpoint for forever. It like instilled my love of just like first person shooters and created like such a cool world. Like it's sci-fi. I love the soundtrack. There's times where like I gotta go study, I gotta go for a run, you're like, I'm gonna put on some Halo and just like go for a run or do some study and listen to that. And there's just so many like iconic moments even just in the game. Cool weapons, cool like, and that pistol, oh man, that pistol with the 2x scope and just like 2 headshots people. The amount like you knew you were good at this game when you just like, don't care, just immediately swap to that pistol and just like run into battle. And that's I think with some of the newer games they definitely miss that, as they've nerfed the pistol when it's like, now this pistol was the best gun in the game and you just gave it to us out of the box. So my favorite game probably of all time. It's a little bit lower on my list because I've been inking to play 2 other games a little bit more than this one.
Sure. Yep.
But there's not a few months that go by that I don't just like play through the Halo first. Then maybe 2, then maybe 3. By 4, I just like I'll play some ODST and call it a day. So yeah, definitely one of the landmark games that are just like were my childhood.
Sure. Well, and it's interesting too. Back in the day of Nintendo, always had their big roster, right? Like they have their Smash Brothers. Essentially, the original Smash Brother guys was kind of like Nintendo's calling cards. Is look at our familiar IPs that you can play. PlayStation has tried multiple attempts to get some type of IPs going, right? Sonic stuck around for Sega for the most part, so that was what video games were. Microsoft steps onto the screen and they have some stupid looking green guy in a spacesuit, and you're like, that's our hero. And I was like, really? That's what you're banking on? And it worked. Like, blown out of the way. Incredible, awesome experience. Yeah. In terms of first-person shooters that are a very, 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 very popular series today. Well, it was more so a few years ago when everything just seemed to be a first-person shooter. It was the market was saturated. Every single thing. BioShock. Now a first-person shooter. We jump around. Yeah. Action. It comes essentially from this. So, the respect that... again, even if I was kind of a shitty little kid and being like, Microsoft, Halo, I know now that it's an incredible series. It's very monumental and influential into video game history, right? It was stated up there with Ocarina of Time, Halo, as some of the best games ever made, right? Lists back in the day. I wonder if you looked at lists nowadays, like other games, I'm sure would have beat them because technically some games that come out nowadays are absolute masterpieces, right? They sound beautiful, they look beautiful, they have amazing stories, they're fun to, like they hit all the beats, they get it. But we're also 25 years ish from when this game came out, right? So revolutionary for the time. I know we mentioned it a little bit on like our Metroid Prime show. We just kind of discussed how it was like two sides of the same coin in terms of first-person shooters, and Halo kind of went the popular route, and Metroid Prime went down the other road. So it needs credit, and yeah, the fact it's on your list this high, I get that. I dig it.
Yeah, it's a really good time. I'm just realizing, did I say my number 5? I don't know if I did.
Maybe no, you did, because I think you said we'll talk about that later.
Oh, okay, I think we just ripped through it quick. Okay,
Yeah,
because I was staring at that and I was like, did I mention? I never talked about Ninja Gaiden. And okay, anyways, Halo, great game, great franchise. Probably gonna twist Mick's arm and make him play it.
Yeah.
But maybe what we'll do is we'll actually do that co-op, because I think it's so much more fun co-op.
Sure. Oh, yeah, this is definitely one of those. There's a couple games. I'm like, we have to just get together sometime and just play some video games. So, like, maybe Halo. There's that Zelda game we were talking about doing, right? So, like, maybe we'll figure that out. And it doesn't have to be this year. It's sometime in the future. Well, we have a couple days. We'll make this our Halo day. Yeah, that sounds awesome. That is definitely something I would not be against. So definitely jump into it. I probably want to give it a full retrospective treatment, but I could see doing a big long show on Halo and then Halo 2, right? Give it all kind of the love it deserves. And that only leaves, folks, our final 2 games. One of them has not been mentioned, and the other 2 have been mentioned. So I think I'm not going to tell you what my number 2 is. We're just going to leave it a mystery. We're going to talk about Tyson's number 2, my number 1, and then we'll jump into the last game before we do a big recap, I suppose.
Sure, we'll do it that way.
Cool.
So my number 2 is Metal Gear Solid.
Good.
You have it a little lower, but totally understandable. But I love this game. Oh man, I love this game. Like, it's actually a few of the sounds from this game, like the intro, the item pickup sound, and like the codec call might be my notification alarm and phone calls, just because I'm like, yeah, this is awesome. This is so cool. Love it. It's such a wicked franchise. I mean, I remember we were like, how did we spend 2 hours talking about this game? I was like, if we didn't spend 2 hours talking about that game, we could have easily just done a whole retrospective on just that game alone.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. Cool world, cool writing, badass moves all around the place. Like, this game is just like, it made me like stealth games.
Sure.
And it also created this huge world with like cool characters, and like everybody, like Snake was just the coolest dude. Otacon was such a little like nerd, and everybody loved him and cherished him. And then there was like the cyborg ninja and Meryl and like Colonel and Naomi and like just everybody. It was just, every character is super memorable. All the lines are like super quotable. Like, it's like playing a movie, but there's just never been anything kind of like the Metal Gear Solid franchise, and I just cherish it and love it so much. And it was on sale, so I just happened to be like, I bought these games literally yesterday, so it's going on the list.
Cool. Tight. Sweet.
Yeah.
I mean, for myself, I have Metal Gear Solid at 5, right? So I was saying it was a top 5 game experience, especially from this kind of genre. I kind of feel like the Twin Snakes, I don't know, it like alters how I feel about this specific entry into the series, right? Because technically the Twin Snakes looks better, but it like breaks the whole experience, right? Because it's meant to be kind of clunky, and they built the world to have awkward controls. So when you have great controls, you're like, oh, it's like too easy. Okay, cool. But then going back and like watching the old like really poorly animated cutscenes, and everyone kind of looks really crappy, and like you're like, Snake, what does your face even look like? What is happening here? Right?
Oh, yeah. It's just like like a mannequin dummy.
Yeah, just like Lego characters or something weird walking around, right? So it is one of those things, like there are some technical limitations. That's why I put it down a little bit more on my list. But in terms of, just pure fun, great experience, this game is phenomenal, right? It's excellent. Narratively, it is one of the biggest, most important games probably in like video game storytelling history, right? If we're to be honest. Technically, meh. doesn't look the best. The worlds are pretty small when you get back into it, and that's the one thing I think why I dropped it down a little bit is just how small the world feels, especially after playing other games, right? And I think I mentioned that in the podcast. It's just like, man, there's like 4 rooms, and then you're talking to Psychomantis. Like that was nothing, right? It seems bigger when you're a kid and you're exploring it, and like in my nostalgia, this is a massive, intricate, well weaving together world, and stepping back later, and you're like, oh, yeah, okay, that's definitely limitations, and I get that, but I can appreciate this, and I like that part of it, right? So, tons of fun, awesome experience. I understand why you have it at 2. I just don't think, like right now, the horror and kind of what Silent Hill does, I thought was a little bit more impressive, and then just, yeah, RE2, I think is, if I want like an action gunny shooty game, RE2, it's better. I don't want the guards to be alerted. I want to just be able to shoot all the zombies in the street, so that's why I have it at 5, but excellent title. We're going to jump into my number 1 and leave the other game, like I alluded before. We'll do a recap. I have Symphony of the Night at number 1 on my list. Tyson has it at number 5, so very similar to the conversation we just had. I absolutely love Metroidvanias. They get me. That is the series I love. I love the lock and key system. I love exploring the worlds. I love trying to figure out how the new equipment or new techniques helps me access a new area. And exploring, and I think it isn't done more expertly than, it's literally in the genre name, Metroidvania. Well, this is the Vania, a part of Metroidvania, right? It is the big one. Super Metroid I didn't have high up on my list because I got to it later in life. Like it's closer to, I played maybe for the first time around when we were doing the podcast, whereas Symphony of the Night has been with me since 1998, maybe even 97. And it's just one of those awesome, immersive, phenomenal experiences. And this is one of those games I pick up. And if I see it, I'm like, oh, sick. Castlevania Symphony of the Night. I'll just play it. And then 12 hours later, I'm done it. And I'm like, great. I've got all the weapons. I've done all the grinding. Perfect. Cool. I can't wait for my next playthrough, right? So, and I'm excited to basically start playing it as soon as I'm done. I think it's just a super fun, well-built, cool, intricate little world that they created here, and again created a whole subgenre, which I think is probably one of my favorite genres. Like pound for pound, if we're gonna say what are your favorite games, and I like made a bunch of lists, you're like, oh, you do love those Metroidvanias, don't you? You just have a bunch of Castlevanias and Hollow Knights, and not for everyone, but for me, I can't get enough of that. So that's why I put it at number 1 on my list, and it just, I think it's fun. That's the thing. Like, I think just endlessly replayable. You can play as Richter. You can play as Maria. There's tons of unlockables. You can challenge yourself. You can get overpowered. Tons of unique ways of playing it. And it's just, I don't know, it's one of the first games actually me and my friends, I think legitimately without walkthroughs, with the help of the internet, we beat the game just playing through it and like finding and uncovering secrets. So that definitely, nostalgia definitely bumped it up high on the list. And when I think back on the PlayStation, if I could only have one game and walk away with it, it has to be Symphony of the Night.
That's fair. It's a great game. I mean, I have this on multiple systems for a reason. Mm-hmm. It's my, pick up, play, and just enjoy. Cool world, great characters. I might have said this before. Great soundtrack. I love the little upgrade system that you get. So, like, I remember grinding out the first little bit when you just, like, one-shot everything with, like, your good equipment. Then Death shows up and takes away all your good equipment, and you're just running around punching stuff. It's great. Everybody loves Alucard. I think this game made me love Castlevania. Like, this started that love of the franchise. Wicked game. This game's fantastic. Like, I can't say bad things about this game besides I think it's a little too short.
Sure.
But that's why there's like some multiple playthroughs. Like, you can play through as Richter, you can play through as Maria. I love it. It's great. It's always like, it's amazing how much of this game I just have ingrained in my memory. And I think it's short now because I just like, I know the path to take.
Exactly.
And you're like, okay, then you go there, then you go there, then you go
there.
there.
It's short because once you get the key, you're like,
it's like,
aha, to the aqueducts, right? Versus when you're a child, you're like, well, now what do I do with the double jump? And you're like going and exploring everything again and again and again. And once you kind of know the patterns of the Metroidvanias, that's kind of like the downfall. It's, you want to learn everything. You want to unlock all the towers. You want to know how to get everywhere. Once you kind of know how to get everywhere and figured out the pattern, like, it does lose its magic a little bit. So it's kind of that double-edged sword. But like a first-time gaming experience, jumping into it, it's great. We're just like talking about games we want to play in the future. I've heard that the Aria of Sorrow games, right, on the Game Boy Advanced, DDS, are apparently excellent, right? And I think I actually saw it on speaking of games I almost bought, they definitely had the like whatever that is, the Game Boy Advanced Castlevania. It was like $4 on the Switch the other day, and I was like, I could own all these games, but I was like, no, resist. Wait, you don't need to buy it just yet. So I didn't. But it's close. It's up there, and yeah, it's I don't know, it's fun. It's good.
Yeah, they always come up for sale, and they're sometimes just worth grabbing just so you have them. I think I have.
I like that the show is just us flexing about like
collection.
What we're gonna buy on eBay, and like you're like, oh, I just dropped money on a Switch, not a big deal, and we're like, yeah, just go and buy all these collections, whatever, it's fine. We're dicks.
Well, they go on sale. I don't buy things full price.
We're both
unless it's a Switch, then I'm an idiot and I'm a scab, whatever.
We're both struggling podcast artists, so if you ever wanted to support us somehow, please. We can't afford nice things.
Yeah, no, support us on Patreon because we definitely need one of those. It's not like we both have 2 full-time jobs and we work for a living and we don't have kids, so we have expendable money.
Yep.
But our kids is our video game collections.
Yeah, it's true.
And I mean, I know how much like you love the Castle Metroidvania games so much, and I love like the Souls kind of games so much that there's a real good game that I've been replaying and playing lots of and just struggling at. It's called Rain World.
Okay.
And I have been kind of itching to bring this up to be like, maybe we play this as like an indie game one year.
Okay.
It's kind of got that that Metroidvania
Oh, I'm in.
To it,
I'm in. I played Dead Cells for like 6 hours. You don't get anywhere in Dead Cells. It's like a useless experience. You just end up at the beginning every time you die. You're like, son of a gun. Oh my god, it's so far.
Yeah.
But I kept playing it, so if it's anywhere like that, I'm like, yep, I'm in.
Yeah, it's a little bit. Like you play a little slug cat, and it's called Rain World because there's like this like in-game timer that like the world will start raining and flooding, and the whole world will flood.
Okay.
And but it's every time there's no death in the game, you just go back to your last like save location, so you can make progress, but you definitely have to but you just get one shot from things because people will just like kill you. Everything in that game wants to kill you. It's delightful, and it's got a great soundtrack, so I'm like, yeah, maybe I bug Mick to play this as one of our indie games one year. So
cool. Sweet.
Yep.
Cool. So then for our recap, before we get into what is Tyson's number 1 and what is my number 2, my list is number 10, I have Halo 2. 9 saw Final Fantasy 9. 8 was Legend of Dragoon. 7 had Tony Hawk 2. 6 was KOTOR. 5, Metal Gear Solid. 4, Silent Hill. 3, Resident Evil 2. Number 2 is still a mystery to everyone at home listening. And number 1, of course, we just talked about, Symphony of the Night. Tyson, what is your 75 top honorable mention list? Oh, you only got 13 today. That's pretty good. Okay.
Well, technically 14. I trimmed it down. I had some more on here, but I threw Fable at 14, Spyro the Dragon at 13, RE3 at 12, Resident Evil 2 at 11, GTA San Andreas at 10, KOTOR at 9, Final Fantasy 9 at 8, Half-Life 2 at 7, Ninja Gaiden at 6, Symphony of the Night at 5, Halo 2 at 4, Halo at 3, Metal Gear Solid at 2, and my number 1 is still a mystery. So if you are playing along at home and you know us and you've listened to us in the past, you could probably guess what our number 1 is. So why don't you say it, Mick?
Final Fantasy 8. No, just kidding. Yeah. Just kidding. That's like, we should have a list that's like top 10 things that we hate, and that would just be the number 1.
See, that's one of our our top 10 list that we're missing.
Top
10 games you'd never play again.
Yeah. Okay. I mean that's a thought. Well, maybe we need more content. Maybe that happens later. Obviously no. It is Final Fantasy 7 from. Was that our first retrospective? I think that was. We did that maybe during COVID or something like that. One of our kind of lockdowns when we had a bit more home time. I think I don't know. I think it's pretty good. Like, if you wanted to listen to a 7-part series of Final Fantasy 7 in podcast forms, I don't know if you're finding a better series than we made. Like, I'm not just trying to be braggy or just trying to talk up our show. I think we did an excellent job with it. Why? Because we both feel passionately that it is an amazing, incredible, seminal experience in our lives. Right? It was one of the first RPGs that we played. It was this fun, cool, techno-punk, steampunk kind of world, right? It was awesome. from a narrative point of view, it is super deep. I think that's what we kind of talked mostly about in our retrospective, right? It's just kind of how deep and intense that story was, how incredible the experience was, and it's just one of those things, nostalgic wise, it always does live with me. I think about Cloud all the time. He's one of my favorite video game characters of all time, right? With his cool hair. I mean, he defined like a whole genre of spiky hair boys. Every guy has spiky hair now. Why? Because Cloud was a badass design. They did an incredible job with that, incredible job with the story. They built up a really cool, incredible villain in Sephiroth, right? Is one of the best villains maybe ever in video games, and it's fun to kind of come back to. And even the remakes, right? They changed things a little bit, but it's not like they took away the substance of the series. Where some remakes, I'm like, oh, they lost it. Like they actually killed the franchise more than they did anything. Independent of the quality or how you feel about random ghosts or time travel, I don't know what the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, the second one, looks like anyways, right? But the fact that this is a series that we clamored for, and it like pushed the genre, and like even though they're giving it to us in 12 parts, and it's going to be subscription based, and you need to be a Platinum Plus Final Fantasy VII member to be able to get the ending, we're still going to do it because this is an incredible, awesome, culturally significant, shifting experience, right? It was one of the first mature titles, and it made video games seem really, really cool. I think then that's really important, right? Because perception is everything in the world, right? So the fact that this game kind of breached that for us gamers and kind of the rest of the world, I think that's pretty awesome. So that's why it was number 2. I think it's just not as fun as Symphony of the Night. Like you give me these 2 games, I'm playing Symphony of the Night once or twice before I pick up 7, just because like I don't want to learn all my limit breaks again, damn it.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
Quit attacking me, bike. I don't want to be ran over by this stupid bike. I don't want to be spun out on. Quit it.
Yeah, and it's just like it's the best game. Like if this is a game, any point, if I'm stuck on a stranded island, I'm playing this game without a doubt. It's so much fun. It's like got a great world, cool characters. I can't say that like enough good things about this game because it's just incredible. I love all the characters. I like love the soundtrack, love the world. The remake bugs me because it's just like, why did we have to do it like this? I understand that, you know, it takes a lot of time to develop these things and they want to do it right, but feel at the same time we're like, no, now we need to do the integrate version. I feel like they're gonna have a version that now you can play the Ruby weapon too. It's like, ugh. I like this game had so much content, so much lore that you could just like play into, like the Turks, what Sephiroth's up to, what Avalanche is up to, like Red 13, such a cool character, trying to unlock like Yuffie for the first time, and just like all these like little bits. It's just non-stop fun from start to finish. The limit breaks were like super cool. When you unlocked a new one, you're like, I cannot wait for what the next one's going to be. And then with the new features, just like 2 times speed, random encounters, like unlimited health, unlimited limit breaks. You're just like you can just break the game, or you can just play it like old school. And honestly, even just like slapping on the 2 times speed, it just helps the pace a little bit, because when you were younger, it feels like you had all the time in the world. Nowadays, you're like, kind of time is money here. But it's fun. Like this game, at any given point, if somebody's like a new gamer, I would strongly encourage them to like play some Final Fantasy VII. I mean, the graphics are kind of like Lego blocks or whatever, but I think the younger generation probably is like, it kind of looks like Roblox or Roblox, whatever the heck you want to call it. It like just kind of looks like those. It looks like Minecraft, but there's a cool story to it. And then when you're in the battle or you're in cutscenes, you get to see all these cool character models.
Yeah, but I think it's like, there's parts that are glitchy, but there's parts that look really incredible, and then there's parts that are kind of cute and a bit more chibi, right? So it's one of those things where, I don't know, like I can go back and appreciate Final Fantasy VI graphics and like the sprite design. So I wonder if people nowadays would go back, or kids nowadays would go back to Final Fantasy VII and be like, ew, gross. And be like, oh, this is an interesting, unique take. Yeah, they don't all look reel and there's not motion capture, but I'm good with that. It's a video game. So going back to this game, definitely buy one of the remastered versions, get the extra things, because, and that's why it was number 2 on my list, guys, because I can't tell you to go back and play this game clean and pure and without a guide. You won't have a good time. You'll be like, what the hell? You need those creature comforts, right? So hence why it was bumped down 2 on my list. Not by no means is that a bad thing, but yeah, this is a pretty cool, incredible video game experience, and yeah, it kind of made the PlayStation, right? It was literally the game that they were developing for Nintendo. Final Fantasy VII was supposed to be a Nintendo game. It was going to be on the N64 DD, and then Sony was like, I don't want to work with you. We'll just take these guys and go over there and make a better game. So, and they did, man. They made them a giant, huge competitor for Nintendo for the last 20 some years, almost 30 years, right? And it kind of is because of this. It gave it instant credibility. It was cool. It was awesome. Everyone wanted to play it. So, Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
Cool.
Great game. Absolutely. Just like landmark title. Like if we had a list without Final Fantasy VII on it, I would have been like, this would have been a travesty. But yeah, great game. Like, I mean, I love it. I could gush about it some more. And if you guys want to hear us talk more about it, go back and listen to our old podcast. We did a really good job of that retrospective. We're not just like pumping up our tires. It's like we put a lot of love into that one. Mick put tons and tons of hours into just the notes, and I just showed up and chatted about one of my favorite games of all time. So
cool. Awesome. Sweet. So that wraps up this one. What are we into next? We kind of were discussing that. We've got that was 5 down, so in theory 10 to go. What are we doing? We're not going to tell everyone, but no, I don't think we're doing...
you will keep you in suspense, but stay tuned, because if you like these things, we got more coming. So.
I think we're going to do 2 more video game ones, so we'll see. Yeah. Some way, shape, or form, and then we'll have some fun ones for the rest of the year, and maybe we'll come back for worse stuff, so who knows. So worst
stuff or stuff that we got 10 games that we want to tackle in the future, because I think that would also be a fun one.
Sure. Yeah, that'd be cool. Sweet. So with that, I think that wraps up our show. We'll be back. Where are we in the timeline? We definitely didn't do this out of order, so we're not all out of shape. I think we have to do that, then this, then so we're at Chrono Trigger as our 150th show, guys. So actually, in honor of our, like I said, we're kind of doing our 10 years. I believe our next show is Chrono Trigger. Replaying that, we kind of discussed it, getting into it. I'm like, I feel like my N60 or my Super Nintendo games definitely should be changed. So I've already changed the list because of just the first couple hours of that experience. So looking forward to that. So in 2 weeks' time, 150, big show coming up, and we've got a big game that we're diving back into. So I'm kind of excited.
Yep, and I think it's the 25th anniversary of it. So 25th anniversary year. We kind of missed the timing, but whatever. It's the same year. It's all it counts.
As long as we're within a year, plus or minus, we're fine.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. Sweet. Awesome. So with that, see you guys for 150. Yeah. Do a little celebrating. So good times. Fun stuff.
Great.
Awesome.
See you later.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.